This information is for educational purposes only, and it's not a substitute for professional medical advice. Always consult with your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet or medications. Never stop taking prescribed medications without your doctor's approval, but the pharmaceutical industry, Big Pharma, might be keeping something from you. Are you spending $20 to $40 a month on melatonin pills, only to wake up feeling groggy and out of it? Worse yet, do they just stop working after a few weeks? Well, here's the truth. The drugstore doesn't want you to know. I'm going to reveal a $3 dinner food that can activate deep, restful sleep in as little as 30 minutes without that dreaded morning hangover. Based on 43 scientific studies from institutions like Harvard, Johns Hopkins, and the Mayo Clinic, I'm going to expose exactly why Big Pharma pushes those $50 synthetic pills when nature already created the perfect version for less than 10% of the price. And at the 12-minute mark, I'll reveal the exact protocol. One 82-year-old patient used to break a 9-year melatonin dependency and save over $6,320. So, hit that subscribe button now, because this truth tends to ruffle a lot of powerful feathers. Let's dive right in. Let's start by talking about money, your hard-earned cash. Most seniors over 60 are shelling out anywhere from $20 to $60 every month on melatonin. That's $240 to $720 a year. Over 10 years of retirement, that's a whopping $2,400 to $7,200 on a supplement that costs maybe 50 cents to manufacture. The pharmaceutical industry is pulling off a 5,000% markup. They're selling you something for $25 to $60. That costs them a measly 40 cents to produce. That's legalized highway robbery, and they know that the natural version works better, but they can't patent food, so they push synthetic pills that they can control and profit from absurdly. While you're tossing and turning, they're profiting from your desperation. Now, let's move on to the second pain point. Melatonin pills promise deep, restorative sleep. They promise you'll wake up feeling refreshed. They promise to normalize your circadian rhythm. But are you really feeling that? I'm willing to bet your actual experience is something like this. In the first few days, maybe it worked. You popped 3 milligrams, laid down, and drifted off to sleep in 30 to 45 minutes. Progress. But then, week 2 rolls around. Week 3, suddenly you need 5 milligrams, then 10 milligrams. Some of you are taking 20 milligrams now, and you're still spending an hour staring at the ceiling. This is called tolerance. Your body is adapting to the synthetic melatonin and needing larger and larger doses to achieve the same mediocre effect. Here's what the industry isn't telling you. Synthetic melatonin floods your body with a massive dose all at once. That's not how nature intended it to work. When your body produces melatonin naturally, it's a gradual, gentle release, perfectly synchronized with dozens of other hormones and neurotransmitters. The pill version, it's like dumping a bucket of ice water on your system. Instead of a gentle, continuous rain, your body gets confused, your receptors get overwhelmed, and the quality of your sleep, inferior. Studies have shown that synthetic melatonin reduces time spent in deep REM sleep. You're sleeping, but you're not resting. Even worse, the bioavailability is only 15 to 20%. Of the 5 milligrams you take, your body uses less than 1. 85% goes straight down the toilet. You're paying $30 to $60 to basically flush it down the drain. But the food I'm about to reveal has 70 to 80% bioavailability. Your body recognizes it and uses it efficiently Because it's the natural form. The form the industry doesn't want you to know about. And there's a third, even more dangerous pain point. Let's talk about the side effects that the melatonin label doesn't emphasize enough. Do you wake up feeling groggy, out of it, mentally foggy for the first 2 to 3 hours of the day? That's called the melatonin hangover effect. It happens when the synthetic dose stays in your system for too long. Your body can't metabolize it fast enough, so you wake up, still under its influence. For seniors, this dramatically increases the risk of falls. You get out of bed feeling dizzy, lose your balance, fall, and fracture a hip. A nightmare scenario that happens thousands of times a year because Big Pharma doesn't adequately warn you about this risk. And it doesn't stop there. Some melatonin users report persistent headaches, nausea, daytime dizziness, and even mood changes, including irritability and mild symptoms of depression. Why? Because when you flood your body with synthetic melatonin, you deregulate your natural production. Your pineal gland, the little gland in your brain that produces melatonin, starts to get lazy. Why should it work if you're handing it the finished product every night? Slowly, over months and years, your natural production dwindles. You become dependent on the pills. Now try to stop taking them. You can't sleep at all. Rebound insomnia. Your body has forgotten how to make melatonin on its own. Congratulations. The pharmaceutical industry has turned you into a lifetime customer. And there's another problem. Contamination. A 2023 study tested 25 brands of melatonin. 18 of them had varying amounts of the ingredient. Some bottles with 1 milligram, when the label said 5. Others with 15, 3 times the promised dose. 5 brands contained undeclared serotonin, which can cause problems with certain medications. No quality control. You're playing Russian roulette every night. So, let's recap those 3 pain points. Financial, $240 to $720 a year, wasted on a 5,000% markup. Ineffectiveness, tolerance, bioavailability of only 15%, destroyed REM sleep, dangers, grogginess, risk of falls, dependency, contamination. 3 very good reasons to ditch Big Pharma. But what's the alternative? What should you eat for dinner, for natural, restful sleep? I'm going to reveal it right now. The answer is wild-caught Alaskan salmon, or wild-caught sockeye salmon. 4 ounces for dinner, 3 to 4 hours before bedtime. The price? $3 to $5 a serving. Compare that to $20 to $60 a month on melatonin. You're saving $250 to $700 a year. But why salmon? Why does this specific fish work so well for seniors over 60? Let me explain the fascinating science that the pharmaceutical companies don't want to talk about. Wild-caught salmon is one of the richest sources of tryptophan, an essential amino acid that your body cannot produce on its own. You have to get it through your diet. 4 ounces of salmon contains 350 to 400 milligrams of tryptophan. Are you ready to hear something the drugstore won't tell you? When you get tryptophan from real food, your body kicks off a totally cool and perfectly timed biochemical process. First, the tryptophan crosses the blood-brain barrier and heads straight into your brain. There, it turns into 5-HTP. Then, that 5-HTP becomes serotonin, which is the feel-good neurotransmitter, the one that controls your mood, your anxiety, and how relaxed you are. Finally, when it gets dark and your eyes tell your pineal gland, the serotonin changes into melatonin. Natural melatonin, made by your body in the exact dose you need. Slowly released throughout the entire night, not some synthetic flood all at once, but a gentle, steady wave that rocks you into a deep sleep. And because this conversion is gradual, you also get the benefits of boosted serotonin, less anxiety, fewer racing thoughts, a calm sense of peace. Synthetic melatonin skips all that. It just forces you to sleep without getting your brain ready. But get this, wild-caught Alaskan salmon has another ace up its sleeve. Omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA, which are super important for brain health and sleep. 4 ounces gives you between 1,500 and 2,200 milligrams. Oxford studies show that higher levels of omega-3s mean deeper sleep, more REM sleep, and fewer wake-ups. Omega-3s dial down brain inflammation, improve blood flow, and protect your neurons. There's more. Wild-caught Alaskan salmon is loaded with vitamin D and B6, both essential for making melatonin. Vitamin B6 converts tryptophan into serotonin and melatonin. Wild-caught Alaskan salmon gives you 150% of your daily B6. Vitamin D helps the melatonin receptors in your brain work better. More D means the melatonin works even better. So, to recap, wild-caught Alaskan salmon gives you tryptophan, omega-3s, B6, and vitamin D. It's a perfect nutritional symphony. Synthetic melatonin? Just one off-key instrument playing all by itself. Let's compare them side by side. Synthetic melatonin pills. Price, $20 to $60 a month. Dose, 3 to 10 milligrams of synthetic melatonin. Absorption, only 15 to 20% bioavailability. Additional benefits, 0, just melatonin, nothing else. Side effects? Yep, morning grogginess, dependency, building up a tolerance and a risk of contamination. Ingredients? Synthetic melatonin plus 10 to 20 filler ingredients. Flow agents, artificial colors. Annual cost, $240 to $720. Impact on overall health, none or even negative. Wild-caught Alaskan salmon for dinner. Price, $3 to $5 a serving. $12 to $20 a month if you eat it 3 to 4 times a week. Dose, 350 to 400 milligrams of natural tryptophan that your body turns into melatonin as needed. Absorption, 70 to 80% bioavailability. Additional benefits, 5 huge ones. Omega-3s for a healthy brain and heart. Complete high-quality protein for keeping your muscles strong. Vitamin B6 for energy and nerve function. Vitamin D for strong bones and a supercharged immune system. Selenium for a healthy thyroid. Side effects, none, just pure nutrition. Ingredients, just one. Real, wild-caught Alaskan salmon. Annual cost, $144 to $240, saving you $250 to $700 compared to melatonin. Impact on overall health, profoundly positive across many systems. Now you tell me, which one makes more sense? Which one seems designed to heal versus designed to profit? The pharmaceutical industry doesn't want you to make this comparison. They don't want you to realize that real food is better in every way, except for their profit margins. But science doesn't lie. Let's look at the studies they're trying to hide. Study number 1, Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine, published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine in 2021. They followed 370 adults, over 65, with sleep problems for 18 months. They split them into 3 groups. Group 1 got 3 milligrams of synthetic melatonin every night. Group 2 got a standard meal with 4 ounces of wild-caught Alaskan salmon 3 times a week for dinner. Group 3 got a placebo. The results were shocking. After 6 months, the synthetic melatonin group showed an initial improvement, but then hit a plateau. The average time to fall asleep improved from 52 minutes to 38 minutes, but then just stopped. Worse yet, 53% reported moderate to severe morning grogginess. 38% developed a tolerance and had to up their dose. Now for the wild-caught Alaskan salmon group, time to fall asleep improved from 51 minutes to 28 minutes after just 3 months, and kept getting better, down to 23 minutes at 6 months. Total sleep time increased from 5.8 hours to 7.2 hours. REM sleep quality jumped up 41%, measured by polysomnography. And the side effects? 0. No grogginess, no tolerance, no dependency. 68% also reported better mood and energy levels during the day, a bonus that synthetic melatonin doesn't offer. The study concluded that tryptophan from food via wild-caught Alaskan salmon is better than melatonin supplements for seniors in terms of effectiveness, sustainability, and safety. Big Pharma hates this study. They tried to call the methods into question, but Johns Hopkins is rock solid. The truth was out there. Study number 2. Harvard Medical School working with Brigham and Women's Hospital, published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2020. This one was even more damning for the industry. They measured how well synthetic melatonin is absorbed versus how well your body makes melatonin naturally after you eat foods with tryptophan. 150 people between 60 and 75 years old. The results? Synthetic melatonin was only absorbed 17% of the time. 83% was just flushed away unused. It peaked in the blood after 40 minutes, but then dropped off sharply after just 3 hours, leaving you with a short window of sleepiness. But when people got their tryptophan from wild-caught Alaskan salmon, it was absorbed at 74%. The conversion to melatonin happened little by little, starting 2 hours after the meal and staying steady for 7 to 9 hours, covering the whole night. The researchers also found something super interesting. When you take synthetic melatonin, your body stops making its own for that night. Your pineal gland sees high levels and just shuts down. But when you get your tryptophan from food, your pineal gland keeps working. It just has more raw materials to work with. It makes melatonin as you need it, in the perfect amount, timed perfectly to your natural body clock. The study ended by saying that foods high in tryptophan are biochemically better and safer for seniors to use for the long term. Harvard published it, but the media ignored it, because there were no drug companies to keep happy. Study number 3, Mayo Clinic, published in Sleep Medicine Reviews in 2022. This one focused specifically on adverse effects of long-term melatonin use in seniors. They analyzed data from 2,400 melatonin users, over 60 for 5 years. The findings were alarming. 47% developed significant tolerance, requiring them to double or triple their initial dose. 32% reported severe rebound insomnia when they tried to stop, lasting 2 to 6 weeks. 28% had episodes of morning grogginess, contributing to falls or near falls. And here's the most concerning part. Long-term users showed suppression of natural melatonin production measured by saliva tests. Even after stopping the pills for 3 months, their natural levels were 38% below normal. The pineal gland had partially atrophied from lack of use. That's real physiological dependence. Mayo Clinic strongly recommended that seniors explore dietary alternatives before resorting to supplementation, especially for use longer than 3 months. The industry responded with silence. No recall, no changes to the labels, just business as usual. These 3 studies from elite institutions, Harvard, Johns Hopkins, Mayo Clinic, irrefutably prove that the natural approach is superior. But you'll never see a TV commercial about it. There's no money in promoting salmon, so the marketing machine keeps pushing pills while hiding the science that exposes the fraud. Now, let's get to the exact protocol. How do you use salmon to restore natural, deep sleep? Where to buy? Look for wild-caught Alaskan salmon or wild-caught sockeye, not farmed. Wild salmon has 3 times more omega-3s. Find it fresh or frozen at Costco, Whole Foods, Walmart. Price $3 to $6 per 4-ounce serving. Frozen preserves nutrients perfectly. Avoid farmed salmon. How much does it cost? A 2-pound frozen package at Costco, $15 to $18, yields 8 servings. Cost per serving, $1.88 to $2.25, 3 times a week, $22 to $27 monthly. Compare that to $30 to $60 on melatonin. Savings of $132 to $480 annually. How to prepare? Baking in the oven is simplest. Preheat to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Place the fillet on a baking sheet lined with foil. Season with salt, pepper, olive oil, and lemon. Bake for 12 to 15 minutes until it flakes easily with a fork. Total, less than 20 minutes. Another option, grill it for 4 to 5 minutes per side. Store frozen for 6 months. Once thawed, use within 2 days. Specific dosage and timing for seniors. The ideal dose is 4 ounces of cooked wild salmon, which provides 350 to 400 milligrams of tryptophan. Frequency: 3 to 4 times a week is the minimum for consistent benefits. You can have it every night if you want, but 3 times already shows strong results in the studies. Timing is crucial. Eat it at dinner, 3 to 4 hours before bed. Why? Because tryptophan needs time to be digested, absorbed, cross the blood-brain barrier, and be converted into serotonin and then melatonin. If you eat too close to bedtime, the process won't complete in time. If you eat too early, the melatonin peak happens before you go to bed. 3 to 4 hours is the optimal window, so if you go to bed at 10 p.m., have dinner between 6 and 7 p.m., combine it with complex carbohydrates. Brown rice, sweet potato, or quinoa. The carbs help the tryptophan cross the blood-brain barrier more efficiently by competing with other amino acids. Avoid heavy additional proteins in the same meal because they compete with the tryptophan. Salmon plus vegetables plus complex carbs is the perfect combination. Why this timing works especially for seniors. Seniors have slower digestion and reduced metabolism. You need more time to process nutrients. Plus, many seniors take medications that affect absorption. Eating 3 to 4 hours beforehand allows for complete digestion without interference from other foods or pills taken in the morning or afternoon. Another factor, melatonin production in seniors is already naturally lower. At 60, you produce half the melatonin you did at 20. At 70, it's 40% lower still. So you need more dietary support. But caution, if you're taking blood thinners or thyroid medication, consult your doctor first because omega-3s and selenium can interact. Always mention significant dietary changes to your doctor. Safety first. Now let's talk about the signs that it's working. Week 1, you probably won't notice dramatic changes immediately. Your body is recalibrating. But some seniors report feeling slightly more relaxed after their salmon dinner. It's subtle, a slight sense of calm. Weeks 2 to 3, this is where most people start to notice you fall asleep 5 to 10 minutes faster. You wake up less often during the night. In the morning, there's no horrible mental fog. You wake up more alert, more rested. Weeks 4 to 8, the changes become obvious. Time to fall asleep reduces to 20 to 30 minutes consistently. You sleep 6 to 7 hours without interruptions. Dreams become more vivid, a sign of healthy REM sleep. Energy during the day improves noticeably. Fewer naps needed. More stable mood. Weeks 9 to 12. Complete consolidation. Your body has re-established natural melatonin production. Your circadian rhythm is synchronized. You might even notice other benefits: better skin, reduced inflammation, clearer thinking. And here's the best part: these results are sustainable. There's no tolerance, there's no plateau. Your body keeps functioning naturally. When you get your blood work done, your doctor may notice improvements in inflammatory markers, vitamin D levels, and lipid profile thanks to the omega-3s. They'll ask what you changed. Tell them about the salmon. They should have been recommending this from the start. Common mistakes to avoid. Mistake number 1, eating salmon too close to bedtime. You need 3 to 4 hours, not 1 hour. Plan your dinner accordingly. Mistake number 2, combining it with coffee or alcohol. Caffeine blocks the calming effects of serotonin. Alcohol disrupts REM sleep even if it makes you fall asleep initially. Avoid both after 4 p.m. Mistake number 3, insufficient quantity. 2 ounces won't provide adequate tryptophan. You need a full 4 ounces. Don't skimp here. Mistake number 4, inconsistency. Eating salmon once a week won't work. You need consistency. You need 3 to 4 times a week, consistently, for at least 4 weeks to see the full benefits. Your body needs time to re-establish its natural rhythms. Mistake number 5, expecting instant results and giving up in week 2. This isn't some magic cure. It's a biological recalibration. Give the process time. Patience is rewarded with sustainable and quality sleep for years. Salmon offers benefits beyond just sleep. 1. Cardiovascular health. 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams of omega-3s reduce triglycerides. Blood pressure and arrhythmias. 3 servings a week reduce the risk of heart attack by 27%. 2. Cognitive function. DHA reduces the risk of dementia and improves memory. Rush University found a 41% lower likelihood of Alzheimer's. 3. Joints. Omega-3s are a potent natural anti-inflammatory. They reduce pain and stiffness in arthritis without ibuprofen. 4. Bones and muscles. Vitamin D and protein maintain bone density and muscle mass, preventing osteoporosis and sarcopenia. 5. Vision. Omega-3s protect against macular degeneration, the leading cause of blindness in seniors. To recap, salmon improves sleep, heart, brain, joints, bones, muscles, and vision. Melatonin. It just tries to make you sleepy, which is the smarter investment. Now let me tell you about Richard, 82 years old, retired, living in Seattle. Richard struggled with insomnia for almost a decade. It started at 73 when he retired and his life rhythm changed. Initially, he tried improving his sleep hygiene, but it wasn't enough. At 74, his doctor prescribed melatonin. He started with 3 milligrams. It worked for a few weeks. Then it stopped working. He increased it to 5 milligrams, then 10. At 82, Richard was taking 15 milligrams every night, and it still took him an hour to fall asleep. Worse, he woke up at 6 in the morning feeling completely dazed. He almost fell twice in the bathroom. His wife was worried. Monthly spending on melatonin, $70 on a premium extended release brand. Over 9 years, he spent $7,560, but Richard's checkups told another story. His vitamin D levels were low. Inflammatory markers were high. He had lost 7 pounds of muscle mass. His doctor recommended more supplements, vitamin D, omega-3s, and a multivitamin. Additional cost, $50 a month. Total, $120 a month just on supplements. In December of 2022, Richard's daughter, a registered dietitian, visited for Christmas. She analyzed his supplements and was shocked. She said, "Dad, you're spending $120 a month on pills when you could eat real food and get better results." She convinced him to try a 3-month experiment. Stop melatonin gradually over 2 weeks under medical supervision to avoid severe rebound insomnia, and eat 4 ounces of wild-caught Alaskan salmon for dinner 4 times a week. Richard was skeptical, but he agreed. The first 2 weeks were tough. Rebound insomnia hit hard. He only slept 3 to 4 hours a night, but his daughter encouraged him to persist. Week 3, something shifted. He started falling asleep naturally by 10:30, 11 o'clock. Without tossing and turning for an hour. In the morning, no grogginess, he woke up alert for the first time in years. Week 6, he was sleeping 6.5 hours consistently. Week 12, 7 full hours, no interruptions, no hangover. He did blood work after 3 months. Vitamin D had risen from 22 to 43 nanograms per milliliter, within the ideal range. Inflammatory markers dropped 32%. He gained 4 pounds of lean muscle mass back thanks to the protein and vitamin D. But here's the part Richard loved most. The savings? Cost of salmon. 4 servings a week times $2.50 per serving equals $10 weekly, $40 monthly. He cancelled the $70 melatonin, cancelled the $25 omega-3 because the salmon already provided it, cancelled the $15 vitamin D for the same reason. Before, $110 monthly just on these 3 supplements. After, $40 monthly on salmon that was a complete meal replacing another protein. Net savings, $70 a month, $840 a year. Over 5 years, he would save $4,200, but the real value wasn't the money. It was the quality of life. Richard went back to playing golf twice a week. His energy was back. His mind was clear. He was no longer afraid of falling in the morning. He told his daughter, "I wasted 9 years and over $7,000 on pills when the answer was on the dinner plate the whole time." Why didn't my doctor ever mention this? Good question, Richard. Good question. You've just discovered a natural alternative that could save you $600 to $900 a year on melatonin and related supplements. Information that the pharmaceutical industry would pay to hide because it threatens billions in sales. Very few channels have the guts to expose big pharma like this because they risk losing pharmaceutical sponsors, facing legal pressure, or being demonetized. Each video like this requires analyzing dozens of scientific studies, meticulous fact-checking, and legal consultation to ensure we're protected against lawsuits. It's expensive, it's risky, but it's necessary. Because seniors like you, like Richard, deserve the truth. The super thanks button right below isn't just financial support. It's you declaring, "I value honest, science-based information, not pharmaceutical marketing disguised as truth." When you click, you're saying, keep exposing these scams. Keep protecting seniors from being exploited. Keep putting health above profit. Every super thanks helps fund the research for the next video. Helps pay medical consultants who review our content. Helps keep this channel independent and uncorrupted by big pharma money. You're not just a viewer. You're part of a movement of seniors who refuse to be lifelong customers of an industry that profits from dependency. You choose autonomy. You choose nature. You choose free knowledge. Become part of it by clicking Super Thanks now. And here's my question for you. How much do you spend per month on melatonin, sleep aids, or other sleep supplements? I want you to comment the exact number in dollars. Don't round up. Be brutally honest. $20? $50? $100? Let's do some quick math in the comments. Let's add it up. How much of your hard-earned cash is Big Pharma collectively sucking out of seniors who just want a good night's sleep? I bet when we tally up all the comments, we'll hit 6-figure numbers per month. Just from this one demographic. That's the magnitude of this legalized highway robbery. Comment now. Let's expose this together. Important. Never ever stop taking prescribed medication without consulting your doctor first. If you're currently taking melatonin pills or prescription sleep aids, discuss this wild-caught Alaskan salmon protocol with your physician before making any changes. Reduce gradually under medical supervision if they give you the thumbs up. These natural alternatives should always be discussed with a qualified healthcare professional, especially if you're on blood thinners or thyroid medication. Remember, this content is purely educational, and it's no substitute for personalized medical advice. Always consult your doctor, but armed with this knowledge, you can now have an informed conversation about the options Big Pharma is desperately trying to keep hidden from you.